Hello and welcome back to the Sommelier Corner. I'm David Horn with the Keye Team, here to tell you a little about this month's wine. This month I decided to write about the True Grit wine from Parducci. It is a fantastic Petite Sirah. I first came across Parducci when I first came to Park City actually, and I was helping work on a wine list at Butcher's Chop House back in 2015. So really enjoy what they're doing. They've been around since the early 1900s, longest standing winery in Mendocino, and they make a fantastic Petite Sirah. I really wanted to write about this one because the name, largely because it's called True Grit. And grit is something that is hard to quantify, but they write about a lot. And it's kind of, simply put, it's just taking your foot and putting it in front of the next and keep on going even when it gets tough. The best wines in the world are wines that persevere through very tough climate conditions. They burrow very deep into the earth and they produce very concentrated berries. So grit helps wine, grit helps people become better. And so I really wanted to write about the True Grit just because it speaks to what I'm really trying to do in real estate and in life every day, whether it's trying to be a better skier, trying to just be a better person, or a better business person. The wine itself, we won't talk about too much. I didn't do a tasting video in March because I was in no condition to do so. I was sick, I had multiple dentist appointments, things like that. But this time we get to taste a little bit of wine and go over it with you. Traditionally, a Petite Sirah is anything but petite. It is a big wine. It's got big tannins, pretty grippy usually, maybe a little softer. The warmer years, velvety is a term I like to use for those. Lots of black fruit, it's almost like a baked blackberry pie because you get so much blackberry and black cherry characters in your Petite Sirahs. So anything but petite. It is very much like a Syrah on steroids, great big body, and pairs wonderful with meat in particular, but could also be good with a strong aged Gouda cheese if you're looking to go a little bit softer. So we'll just do a quick tasting notes. The color is amazing here. Not sure how well you can see that, but it is inky purple. You cannot see through this wine no matter how hard you try. This is on this certified grid. It would definitely be a purple wine because you can't see through it at all. Oh yeah, on the nose you immediately get that blackberry, that black plum even some cherry in there. A little bit of cedar on the back end, some pencil shavings there. That's just some notes of oak. And a touch of earthiness, I want to go with like oregano, maybe a little bit of wet forest floor, not quite leaves, but you just get kind of like you're driving through the woods a little bit. Oh yeah, on the palate, it's rich. Envelopes the tongue, coats it, but then it kind of puckers you out with the tannin. So it's like a rich but dry wine, and it kind of just makes you want more, honestly. Like I want to take another sip right now, even with my mouth puckering up and my tongue drying out. Really bright blackberry, definitely get that compote, sugary quality to it, where the grapes are so ripe that they feel like they've been baked into a pie. The tannins are persistent, but not over the top. They started off very gripping, and then they kind of smoothed out a little bit as I've been talking and just kind of letting it work its way through. Had a very beautiful front and mid palate. The back palate's still developing. You can tell that it's just got a little bit of heat on it, so that's a higher alcohol. I can feel the burn in my throat, which is a positive thing. This is a wine that is supposed to be a higher alcohol wine. And honestly, it just reminds me of a really nice Cabernet that you would sit down and drink with a steak as well. So really great mixing grape. They use it a lot in blends, particularly in California, because there's not too many rules on what can be blended with what. Everyone was surprised that it did not thrive in the Rhone, but I think partially because the berries are smaller and just more concentrated on this Petite Sirah, that in the Rhone it was just a little bit too much of a stewed fruit, whereas in Mendocino you get some cooler fog to make sure that it doesn't get too shriveled up and raisinated, so you still have that ripe, plush fruit character. But we'll stop the video there. I want to say thank you. Always appreciate you watching. If you have any questions about the Petite Sirah, the True Grit from Parducci, or about real estate or anything else going on around Park City, I'm here to help. Go ahead and give me a call anytime. Thank you.